Okay, I think we've resolved the technical issue now. Unfortunately, I have been commentating in for no reason whatsoever, because mysteriously my sound wasn't on. Don't know why. I did check the settings, but there you go. Such is life. Important thing is we haven't missed out on an awful lot of things. So what we've done, obviously we've gone through Q1 with our 15 drivers. We're now down to 10 for our Q2. We've got about half the session left, about 7 minutes left. So what I'm going to do is run through everything that I ran through before and try and see. Exciting. So, where are we this week? We're at Monaco. Very challenging track, as we know. Those that are you familiar with F1, you'll be obviously familiar with it. Challenging track in the real world, and challenging track obviously in the esports world as well. So what I'm doing now is running with Bass, which I would expect to be trying to put in a fast lap at this moment in time. So Monaco circuit has quite a lot of changes, obviously tight corners, narrow course, very difficult overtaking. It is one of the most, I would say probably the most demanding track, despite the fact the course has had several changes obviously during its long and illustrious history, mainly for the benefit of safety, and it's considered the ultimate driving test well, driving skills test. And you know, it is challenging. As I said, it's challenging in the real world. It's certainly challenging in the esports world. Very, very difficult track indeed. We've got 78 laps, 3.3 kilometers per lap, a total of 260 kilometers in the race. One DRS zone, which is from start finish straight. As you come round Las Casas into the Mountain Oaks, come through that little sort of right left into the chicane, you hit the DRS activation, takes you up to Saint-Deveau, just before Saint-Deveau turn 1. And the intersection is well, just after pool and 15. So we're running now down to Poitiers as we do a right-hand turn into the tunnel. Looks like he's pulling over there. So as Bass comes into the pits, he's set at 1:12, is expected to set that sort of time. We've got Bo out as well, he's in the pit, sorry. So at this moment in time, Stoner in the Haas has really pulled it out of the bag with that 1:11. So I'm sure that he is going to be very, very happy with that. So quickly run through the Drivers' Championship for you, just to tell you where we are. At this moment in time, lead driver is Bass F1. And he's on 73 points. Then behind him in second place is Bo F1 with 50 points. Then we have Big Bad Buddha for Renault with 39 points. Closely behind him is Portma for Mercedes with 38 points. Then we have Gamble in 5th position for McLaren. He's got 32 points. So that certainly under challenge. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with regards to those guys, certainly with regards to this race. At this moment in time, our top team in the team standings is Ferrari with a total of 123. Then we have Mercedes, just pipped Renault into 2nd place now. They've got a total of 62. Renault in 3rd place with 53. McLaren in 4th place with 50, and Haas in 5th place with 48. So really very, very little between these teams, if anything at all. And certainly this race is very, very important to those teams. It gives them the opportunity to try and make a break and actually pull out. We have been surprised, obviously, in Q1. Slacky from Renault set the fastest time there. We now have Stoner in the Haas to set the fastest time here in Q2. We've only got 3 minutes left to go. So at this moment in time, our top 10 drivers are Stoner, Zwoof, Bass, Slacky, Bo, Gamble, Slim Shamy, Buddha, Martin, Mikeb and Peter. So John F1, by the looks of it, I think has dropped out, so he's 12th. Peter F1 is obviously going to be looking to get his Williams moving there and try and beat Mikeb's time of 1:14.4. He needs to be looking to take about a second off his time. Then we've got Portma, who's in 13th place. He's on a 1:15.9. And Grimm is in 14th position in the Red Bull. So if we watch this, guys, now. Comes through the tunnel. Get over to that right hand side. You've got to be so careful not to hit the barriers, and then you come to this point here, you've got to really hit those brakes as you come into Nouveau Chicane. To back. Coming round now, 14, 15, swimming pool, up to Raskas. Right hand turn there, sharp up here. You've got to be careful not to let the car slip, and then through Anthony Noakes, that right left into the DRS activation point with start finish straight. DRS detection zone is actually between turns 14 and 15. There, Sandevo, coming up to that right sort of left of Beau Rivage. Then the 3rd turn, Masnet, right-hander leading us into Casino, which is the right-hander. Down to Mirabeau Haute, turn 5, right-hand turn again. Then one of the most difficult turns, Fairmont hairpin next to Raskas. Then we have a right Mirabeau Bass, right again Portier. Oh, he's moving to the side there, somebody on the fast lap, no. He's going into the tunnel now, turn 9. Not too sure whether he had an issue there, or he's got someone behind him. Nouveau Chicane there, one of the trickiest turns. He's pulling aside now, letting the other car through, which is his teammate by the looks of it. Coming up to turn 12 now, to back. 13, Louis Chiron, through 14 and 15. This is DRS detection points here. Swimming pool, coming up to Raskas. Right there, and then that right, always going into the pits there, I thought he was. Then you had the right left there of Anthony Noakes that took you into the start finish straight. It was actually the Williams, sorry, that was going past him there. Okay, so pretty much looking at the same as we. F1 is currently in 11th place, so he's due to be dropped for Q3. So unfortunate there for the Williams. His team. So he's holding the flag there for Williams. So let's run through it now. Then we have Stoner, first position at this moment in time with a 1:11. That's the fastest time of qualifying. 12. Bass with Ferrari, another 112, 112.9. Slacky in the Renault, 113.0. Bow in the second Ferrari, 113.2. Then we have Gamble, 113.6. Slim Shamy Williams, 114.0. Buddha in the Renault, 114.4. Martin BMW Toro Rosso in ninth position, 114.4. And Peter is just out of the zone there with a 115. So the top 10 drivers there. Toro Rosso heading the back of the field for the top 10. This will be to decide the pole position, or rather pole positions and pole position. So it'll be interesting to see. We've had quite a few runners there. We've had Stoner, we've had Bass, we've had Bow, we've had Slacky. So all these drivers have set fast times during qualifying, although obviously a number of these have been on the super softs. So Bow was on the super softs there, as was Bass as well. So Stoner for Haas is in first position out of Q2. Then we have Red Bull Racing 2, Bass in the Ferrari 3, Slacky in the Renault 4, Bow in the Ferrari 5th, 6 Gamble in the McLaren, 7 Slim Shamy in the Williams, 8 Buddha in the Renault, 9 Martin BMW Toro Rosso, and bringing up 10th is Mercedes with Mike Ebb. Okay, so we're going to be going into Q3. As I say, Q3 will be the decider for this competition. So just to tell you a little bit about this evening, we are F1 tonight, predominantly Dutch racers, or certainly all Dutch racers. We race on a Thursday evening. We have our esports series. This is our third season of 2017 and our sixth race, which is Monaco, the most challenging race. I would say probably the closest next to this, although it is obviously got a lot faster straights, but certainly some equally difficult corners at times. No, actually no, this is the most difficult track, without any shadow of a doubt. I've driven around it myself, not very well I may add, but then again that's hardly surprising. The thing is with this, you've got nowhere to escape to. This is a true street track. Obviously it has been amended, as I said, over the years quite considerably. So it looks like we've got... Yeah, we'll go with Bass because it looks like he's the first one out. So they're going to be looking to set a benchmark time, I would say, because they both got out immediately as soon as the race started. So it'll be interesting to see what they come up with. This is the outlap for them. We'll go what they got currently fitted. He's currently third. Coming down to Nouveau Chicane. We come out Nouveau Chicane, open up along the straight there before hitting turn 12 to back. Coming round Louis Chiron, turn 13 into 14, 15, swimming pool, down to everyone's famous and favourite corner there. Then Anthony Hughes, the right left as they come into the start finish straight. DRS activation point, and that reads them up to deactivation just before Saint-Devo's turn 1, which is now. Then we come round right and left through Beau Rivage. Then the left hand turn of Massenet takes you into the turn 4, a casino turn in the right hand turn. Brings you down then towards the Mirabeau Haute, sharp right hand turn leading into the Fairpont hairpin. Pretty self-explanatory on that one. Then a right turn Mirabeau Basse, right turn again as you go underneath the apartments into Potier, and go right into the swimming pool. Second fastest part of the track here, apart from the start finish straight. This is where it gets tricky, coming down to Nouveau Chicane. You've got to brake very, very hard indeed, line the car up perfectly. Nice little slide there from Basse, coming up to the back, turn 12 now. Through Louis Chiron, turn 13, that's a left-right, and then Piscine, swimming pool 14, 15. Up to La Rascasse. Through Anthony Hughes. And let's see what time Basse has set on this one. Oh, 112.3, so still not as fast. Or Stoner in the pass there in the previous session. He set a 1:11.4, but still respectable time. And there we have Stoner now set a 1:12, so he hasn't bettered his previous one. Then we've got Bass with a 1:12.3, so they're all about 1/10 of a second behind each other. 1:12.2, 1:12.3, 1:12.3. Slacky 1:12.8 in the Renault. Buddha has moved up a pace, so he's now behind his teammate, 1:13.5. So he's about 3/4 of a second behind there. Oh, he's actually dropped down now to 6th place as Gamble in the McLaren has taken 5th position. Mike Hebb in the the Mercedes, 7th position as he comes onto the Nouveau Chicane. And we have Martin in the Toro Rosso coming down the Nouveau Chicane as well. Look at this, nicely done there. Very, very tricky corner coming up to the back. Then we have Slim Shamey now coming down to Fairmont. As we take him round the hairpin there. Round Portier into the tunnel. As I say, then you've got that tricky Nouveau Chicane, turns 10 and 11. So right, oh, he's gone straight through. So he won't get a qualifying time for that, unfortunately. So then we have Zwoof now in the Red Bull. He's coming down to Fairmont. There we go. Through Mirabeau Basse into Poitiers. Through the tunnel. And coming down to Nouveau Chicane now. Nicely done through there, coming up to back, turn 12. So Bo's now taken first place with a 1:12.2. We have Stoner now with a 1:12.3, so he's maintained his time. Bo's now taken that place with a 1:12.2. Stoner's replied with a 1:12.3. 8 and oh sorry, Bo is 1:12. Bass has actually dropped out, that's why I thought there'd been a position change there. Not too sure what's happening there. Slacky 4, 1:12.8. Then we have Gamble in the McLaren. He comes up to turn 1. Sundavo through Beau Rivage, leaving the door open there for Williams. I think that's probably Slim Shamey. Yes, it is. Coming round to Casino now as he drops down towards Mirabeau Haute. That sharp right hand turn, it's almost a hairpin, and then a definite hairpin there of the Fairmont. And the Mirabeau back. Yeah. And into the tunnel. It's very tricky now, Sharp, to see if he can make this corner this time. Yes, he does. So nicely through turns 10 and 11, Nouveau Chicane there, up to 12 to back. And then left, right, Louis Chiron. Very easy to lose grip on that one. 14, 15 through the swimming pool, up to 16 Rascasse. Anthony Noakes, right, and then left into the DRS activation. There we go, DRS gone. And coming up to Sandovo, turn 1. So Slim still, he's now in 10th position with a 1:15.1. We've had another change in the first position with Gamble, who's set a 1:12.0. So we're seeing a lot of movement here. This is really, really good. A lot of this is great. We've only got 4 minutes to go. We've seen the first position change 4 times already. So we now have Gamble is our lead at the moment with the McLaren with a 1:12. Then we have Swoof in the Red Bull, second with a 1:12.1. Then we have Bow in the Ferrari with 112.2 third, Stoner in the Haas with 112.3, Bass is still stuck in 5th, I'm not too sure if he's dropped out there. Then we've got Slacky 6th with a 112.8, Buddha, his teammate, behind him with a 13.5, Mike in the second Mercedes there with 114.2, Martin in the Toro Rosso, fantastic show there from Toro Rosso, 9th position, 114.6. Great going from him, and Slim Shamey there in the Williams at the moment, bringing 10th position with 115.1. Let's see if Slim can better that time. Maybe push Martin or even Mike down a couple of notches, and he has. Yes, he's pushed Martin down. So Slim now moves into 9th position, 114.55, and Martin's been pushed to 10th on the grid with 114.6. He's currently in the pits. He could come out and obviously respond to that. Bo's certainly out there looking to respond, so Martin's come in. It's the Toro Rosso there. Not too sure what's happening with Zwoof. Well, everyone's slowed down. They're letting the Ferrari through there of Bo, that's what it was. So he's coming now to Nouveau Chicane. Turns 10, 11, through to 12, to back. Right-hander. Right and then left. This is a very tricky corner here with Louis Chiron, and then the same again with a right left into the swimming pool. Coming up to La Rascasse, right hand turn there. You've got to really hug that barrier on the right hand side. DRS activated, and that moves him up a place to 3rd place. So he's now taken 3rd place, which is 112.1, pushing Stoner into 4th with a 112.3. This is really tight. We've only got a couple of minutes to go. It looks like Bass's teammate has some issues there, because he's actually greyed out. So unlikely we're not going to see him come back out again. So very likely we're going to see Ferrari not teamed up. But it is a long race. I'm sure there are going to be plenty of incidents. So it'd be interesting to see what happens with regards to that. So as he comes now, turns 10, 11 Nouveau Chicane, coming up to turn 12 to back. Through turn 13, Louis Chiron, through 14, 15, which is the swimming pool, up to Rascasse, La Rascasse, right hand turn, then right left, through that little chicane there, Anthony Nogues on the crest of the hill, into the start finish and the DRS activation point there. So let's see what Bo can do. And he maintains the 3rd place, 112. We've only got a minute to go. He's not going to make it round, although he is obviously going to make it because he's actually on his laps. So he won't have to stop, clearly. He's coming through Casino now. Down to Mirabeau Haute. And that sharp left-hand hairpin of Fairmont. Into the right-hander there of Mirabeau, right-hander Portier, and then the sweeping right of turn 9 tunnel. Tricky obviously when they come out of that, going top speed, to slow down and get the right angle turning point for turns 10, 11 and Nouveau Chicane. Speeds up then, down the straight towards turn 12, right-hander to back. Hug the right-hand side and then through to left-hand side as you go through Louis Chiron. Then opposite for the swimming pool there, La Rascasse now. Hug that nice and tight, go out wide to the left, and he's going in the pits. Okay, so he's not looking to set a fast time on that. So there we have it, and what a turn up for the books. What a turn up for the books. So we now have a Red Bull, which will be taking 1st place. We'll run through that in just 1 second. So that was Zwoof really pulled out of the bag, 111.7. I think Stoner's going to be disappointed that he didn't match his Q2 time, because that would have put him in 2nd place, but he's there with a 112.3 in 4th place. We then have Gamble in 2nd with a 112.0, Bo at a 4th place with a 112.3, Bass is in 5th with 112.3 as well. Then we have the Renaults of Slacky and Buddha 6th and 7th. Mike in the Mercedes in 8th, Slim Shamey for Williams in 9th. So in 10th place, great show there for Toro Rosso. Really, really good. So we're going to be going into the start of this F1 tonight. 2017 season 3 race 6 Monaco in the next few minutes. Expect a lot of action. Don't expect too much overtaking, but if there is overtaking, I can guarantee you it's certainly going to be dramatic. Do expect DNFs, and hopefully we won't have too many safety cars, or indeed we might have virtual safety cars, is far more likely. 78 laps, as I said, 3.3 kilometers per lap. This is one of the oldest, if not the oldest tracks. I think probably Spa might be a bit older as an F1 track, but racing here, it's got a lot of elevation change, a lot of up and down, obviously through the hills there of Monaco. A lot of tight corners, as we know, in particular with Portier and others, La Rascasse, Fairmont Hairpin, etc. And it is obviously a very demanding track, not only in the real, but obviously in our esports series as well. Believe you me, I've gone round here and it was not a pleasant experience. I wouldn't say I'm certainly not a fast driver. I'm not a slow driver. I'm middle of the road, but very, very difficult track indeed. Very difficult, especially with a controller. But most of these guys obviously running with the full racing cockpit and steering wheel. The course has had quite a lot of changes during its history, mainly really to benefit safety, because it's obviously a very dangerous track. And it is still considered the ultimate driving test for both real-world drivers and certainly for our esports drivers. And it is a highlight of the calendar. I think if anyone wanted to go to a race in the real world, this would be the one that we're going to go to. So there we have it. Zwoof F1 for Red Bull Racing with 111.7 takes pole position. Gamble for McLaren takes second place on the pole. Bow for Ferrari takes third place. Stoner for Haas is in fourth. Bass F1 is behind his teammate in fifth. Slacky in sixth with his teammate Renault. Buddha in seventh. Mike for Mercedes is 8th on the grid, 9 is Williams, Slim Shamy, and 10 is Toro Rosso for Martin. I'll run through the... So I'll take you from 11th place. So just loading up now. So we'll be doing a formation lap and then going into the race itself. Okay, so we have Slacky is in 11th place. Then we have Phenomena is 12th, Gamble 13, Zwoof. Oh, sorry, no, these aren't the... I do apologise, I thought these were the actual grid positions, but they're not, they're load positions. So just waiting for the players to load now. And here we go. So, 11th place we have Peter F1, 12th place we have John F1, so Peter there in the Williams, John in the Haas. Then we have Portmer in 13th place. It's in the Mercedes. Then we have Grimm in the Red Bull, Phenomenon in the Sauber, Alfrens in the Force India, and bringing up the rear this evening is Miguel in the Toro Rosso. His teammate, as I said, obviously fantastic job. He's in 10th place. So there we have Toro Rosso, Martin in 10, Slim Shamy, Williams 9, Mikev in the second Mercedes or first Mercedes, whichever way you want to look at it, in 8th position. Then we have Buddha for Renault in 7, Slacky for Renault in 6, Bass is 5th for Ferrari, Stoner is 4th for Haas. Then we have Bo 3rd. They've been disqualified. Oh dear, what's happened there? They haven't started. They're still on the start-finish straight. they're still on the grid, so I'm not too sure what's happened there. They're both on the grid. Flags are being waved for them to get going, and they're not moving. Oh dear. I think we've got a glitch. If I go to broadcast camera, and I'm not picking them up. Yeah. So we might be looking at a restart here, people, so be prepared. Let's have a look, see if I can... No. So they're forming up. I'm not too sure if we're going to be able to do a start or we're going to be looking at restarting here. No, we're going for the start. There you go. And they're off. And there we have Swoof coming into turn 1, followed by the McLaren and both Ferraris there. So we've got Beau and Bass now, 3rd and 4th. Stoner's lost out, moved down to... Oh, and we got damage there, I think, on the Red Bull. I think he hit the barrier there, so that was Swoof hitting the barrier as they were coming up to the corner. Coming down now. As they come down to the head. Fairmont hairpin, right Mirabeau Bass into Poitiers and then through the tunnel. So there's definitely been some damage there. I think it was on the Red Bull. Have to look at that. That's obviously the McLaren there of Gamble, tightly in behind him, very closely followed by Beau and Bass. Then we have the Haas there of Stoner and the Renault Slacky and the Renault Buddha there. So we've got green flags, everything's looking good. Coming up to La Rascasse now. So Zwoof going through. And he's going into the pits, yeah. So he definitely had damage. So Zwoof has now taken, Gamble has taken 1st place for McLaren. He's got the Ferrari of Beau right behind him, and then the Ferrari of Bass. Then we have Stoner, Slacky and Buddha. So nothing in it obviously at this moment in time. So we'll ride with Gamble here as he comes down to Fairmont hairpin. Slowing right down. This is such a hard track, it really is. It's so demanding. And you've got to be so careful when you're going around. It's the barriers to hit. So that's what I'm saying. I'm expecting to see a few DNFs when people have pushed it somewhat. So it can be interesting to see what happens. Coming down to Nouveau Chicane now. Turns 10 and 11. Coming up to Vac, turn 12. Then through the little chicane there. As they come up to swimming pool, and then La Rascasse through the last corner into the start finish straight. So coming up to turn 1, Saint-Deveau. Then a little kink there, Beau Rivage, as they come up to the hard left hand turn of Massenet. Takes them into that hard right hand turn then of Casino. Drops them down towards the apartments and the right-hander of Mirabeau Haut. It's quite a tight right-hander here, but then they've got the tighter left-hander there of the Fairmont hairpin. Just so you're not going to be seeing too much overtaking, and if you do, it's certainly going to be exciting. Coming through Poitiers, right-hand turn underneath the apartments, and then into turn 9 underneath the tunnel. This is where it gets tricky now as they're coming outside the tunnel. They're more or less going full speed, hard braking into Nouveau Chicane there, turns 10 and 11. That's why you've got the runoff there. Coming to turn 12 to back. And then turns 4, 15. Swimming pool, brings them up to La Rascasse. where they come back round to the start finish straight. So lap 3, DRS will now be activated. The activation point for the DRS is on the swimming pool turn, so between the right and left hand turn there, the swimming pool turns 14 and 15. So coming up to Casino, down towards Mirabeau, all these cars so tight in with each other here. As I say, virtually impossible to overtake unless somebody hits the barrier or makes a very serious mistake. Through the right hand turn now, Portier goes Gamble into the tunnel. Beau and Bass very tight into each other, following behind the McLaren there, and then Haas closely behind them, followed by Buddha in the Renault, and looks like Slim Shamey's actually moved up as well. I think Slacky may have had an incident, or indeed pitted. I'll have to check that out. I don't. Yeah, Slacky did pit, as did Zwoof. Zwoof we know because of that incident that he had. Peter F1 has pitted as well, and Grimm. So both Red Bulls have pitted. Elfrin unfortunately has pitted twice. So there we can see the position changes. Gamble moved up, Beau's moved up one, Stone has moved up one, Bass has dropped down, so let's happen there. Not too sure what happened there. So Stone has moved up into third place with the Haas. He overtook. Has Bass got problems? I think Bass has got problems. He's losing ground. His Buddha's gone past him. Slim's gone past him. So I think Bass has some issue there. Not too sure what that issue may be as yet. Let's hope he's not going to be DNF for this one. So Bass still maintaining 7th place. He's clearly got... Oh, and that's a spin out there. So Buddha spun round in turn 12, so he's lost position there. Bass now into 6th position. Mike Ebb in the Mercedes is 5th. Slim Shamey for Williams is 4th. Stoner for Haas is 3rd. Beau is 2nd for Ferrari, and Gamble is still in 1st position. So we've had a few changes round to 2nd and 6th, or 7th rather. Then we have Portma. So really very little between these guys as it stands at this moment in time. We're starting to see a few of the pit stops coming in now. So we've got more people who have pitted there. Bass has pitted as well. So he's coming. He's obviously had an issue, so that's why he pitted. Quite a number of position changes here. Slim Shamey's the one that's come out with, I think, probably the best. He's moved up to 4th position from 9th. So this is very interesting indeed. This is really down to managing the track, making sure you don't have any collisions, managing your tyres. So this is more of a strategic race than really. It is more really about the capability of the driver against the track. You're not necessarily you're going to be obviously racing against the other drivers, but this is a very demanding track. As I say, there aren't really many overtaking opportunities other than probably the start finish straight in the tunnel, and even then they're tricky because you're going to have to go on the dirty side of the track, so you don't tend to see too much of that. So it's really going to be down to the concentration of these drivers. We are still very early into the race, only lap 7, so we're only a tenth of the way through. So let's go up here now, because we've got Stoner very close in behind Beau, and Gamble. Beau very tight in behind Gamble as well, so there's only half a second to a second between these guys as it stands this moment in time. Now we're going to be coming up to the DRS. We have obviously had DRS already. Coming up through Nouveau Chicane, so that's turns 10 and 11, then going through to back turn 12, Then we have the left right of Louis Chiron. As they come into the swimming pool, that's the DRS activation point, so that's where we want to see under that second, and they're all under a second of each other. So Bo's under a second of Gamble and under Stoner's. Through to Anthony Nose as they come through the start finish and the DRS activation point there. So they've all got DRS, obviously apart from our lead car on the McLaren. It's now coming back on the back markers there. I think that's one of the Red Bulls that we've got there by the looks of it, so that's probably Grim. Now this is going to start bunching them up, which is going to get interesting. So these cars are now going to start getting more bunched up than they were already, because obviously very tight in with each other as it stands anyway. They're coming through. Elfrin's moved over there to let them through. So there we have it. McLaren, Ferrari, Haas. First, second and third. Williams, fantastic job there from Williams in fourth. They'll be very happy with that. Let's hope Slim can maintain that. Then we have Mike Ebb for McLaren in fifth. So everyone's in there at this moment in time. Then we have Renault in sixth with Buddha. John in the second, Haas in seventh. So at this moment Haas has got the majority of the cars, certainly in those top. They're coming round now. Oh, and there's Swoof there, the Ferrari. Coming through the swimming pool turn up to Rascasse, which is the sharp left-hand bend. They come through then to the right left-hand nose into the start-finish straight. Very tricky set of corners here, as they all are. And it looks like John's going to try and make a move. Can't make it stick, obviously. As I said, start-finish straight is really the only opportunity you've got to overtake. As they come through Maznet now. That left-hand turn into the right-hand turn of Casino, very tight. Down the hill towards Mirabeau and a sharp right-hand turn. Then down to turn 6, the Fairmont hairpin, where everyone slows down. I wouldn't say you could walk faster than them on that corner. You could probably run faster than them. So, all very interesting. We've had quite a number of changes, as we know, as we've seen. Interestingly enough, Gamble's running on the super softs, Bo's running on the super softs. And we have one DNF already, Martin, unfortunately. He's in the pits, so that's good. He's not out on the track. So our top 7 drivers still haven't come in. In the top 10, the only one that hasn't is Phenomenon in the Sauber. I'll be expecting to see these guys pitting fairly soon, but Gamble and Bo could probably go for a longer stretch. But Stoner's very likely to be looking to pit relatively soon, I would have thought. It puts so much stress on the tyres this race, really does. Coming through there, turns 10 and 11, so tight as they come through there. All the lead drivers now coming up to back. Through Louis Chiron, coming up to the swimming pool. DRS detection now coming up to Rascasse. And then Anthony Nogues into the start-finish straight. Still so close between each other there. Bo not able to get a look in really on that start-finish straight on Gamble. As I say, such a difficult track to overtake. You really have to weigh up your opportunities. The only opportunity you've got there is if you make a mistake coming out of Anthony Nogues, which isn't too difficult. Quite easy to slip the car there. So they're coming down to Fairmont now. So tight in against each other there. Through the portiere into the tunnel. really are pushing it through here. Coming down to Nouveau Chicane now. Such a difficult corner. You really have to get your braking and turns absolutely spot on. Through to back, very fast as they come through Louis Chiron. Up to the swimming pool. DRS detection there as they approach Rascasse. This is the turn here, Anthony knows. It can be quite a tricky turn as they come through the start-finish straight. It's very... It looks like Zwif has got a 10-second time penalty, corner cutting. So he's going to be disappointed with that. That's going to affect him quite significantly, and he's actually dropped out. I think he's actually... yeah, he has crashed. Looks like it's on Louis Chiron. It's very difficult. You come out turn 12 and on a left-hand turn, and you've got to go over to the right-hand side and then right over to the left of Louis Chiron in order to line yourself up for the swimming pool turns of 14 and 15. So very easy to just hit the barrier there. So we've got yellow flags, waved yellow flags at this moment in time. It's very unfortunate there for Zwif. I'm sure he's going to be very disappointed with that. So is somebody going to take advantage of this and start pitting? No, we're green on the rest of the track, so it's only on that corner there really that we've got the issue. So they're coming through now, our lead cars, coming up to Tabac, coming up to the crash site there. It's all green and fantastic. Cars already been cleared. Excellent job there, guys. Code Masters, thank you very much. Got that moving, we've got the racing going. Okay, so they're coming through the start-finish straight now for lap 13. John F1's got a 3-second time penalty there, not too sure what that was. So coming through turn 1, Saint-Deveau, up to Beau Rivage. A little kink there, can catch you out if you don't get the right line. Through to the left-hand turn of Masnet, leading into Casino Square there. Turn 4, right-hander. Then down the hill towards the right-hander of Mirabeau. Line yourself up there for Fairmont hairpin. Right down through right-hand turn of the Mirabeau Basse, right-hand turn Portière, and then the long sweeping right of the tunnel. So leads you out into Nouveau Chicane. Very, very tricky turn as you're coming really fast out of the tunnel there. You've got to brake, get your turn point right, hit those apexes, and then line it up. And I think Beau is looking at the possibilities there. Wouldn't surprise me to make a move on Gamble, and I think he's very likely to do it on that turn 10 and 11, well particularly turn 11. Takes a different angle. He seems to come out more towards the left hand side of the track there. So there are our leaders coming through. So pretty fixed. Let's run through the other drivers at the moment. So Stoner, 3rd place. Slim Shamy, 7 seconds behind him in the Williams in 4th place. 5th place, Mike Ebb in the Mercedes, 12 seconds behind the Williams. Then we have John F1 in the Haas. He's in 6th place. Bass is in 7th at this moment in time. And Bass running on the Ultrasoft, so he's looking to try and get through, but really he's just being held up. Phenomena doing a fantastic race here. Phenomena in the Sauber, he's in 8th position, so great racing from him, very well done. Then we have Peter F1 in the Williams. Renault is in 10th place. Then we have Grimm in the Red Bull, the only Red Bull at this moment in time, because unfortunately his teammate Zwoof crashed out on turn 13, Louis Chiron. And we have Slacky in the Renault. He had some issues unfortunately, so he's dropped down to 12th place. Then we have Portmer in 13th place in the 2nd Mercedes. Miguel F1 is the only Toro Rosso unfortunately running. He's in 14th place. And then we have Elfrans in the Force India bringing up the rear in 15th place. So at this moment in time, it looks like John and Bass are having a bit of a fight out here. Bass really needs to move up. He's got little opportunity here unless he gets a good pit window in, and he's really putting pressure on John here, and John having to defend. very hard as they're coming through. John also obviously applying pressure to Mike Ebb. So very little between. You can see these guys accelerating, braking so they don't rear end each other as they come down towards the Fairmont hairpin here. And there we have it, line astern, Mercedes, Haas, Ferrari. Very, very close racing between these guys. So this is for 5th, 6th place. They're coming through the tunnel. Now is Bass going to take the same line as his teammate and maybe look to make a move on the Haas so it's turn 11? Let's have a look. Comes in nice and tight there. Coming through to back. Hasn't quite got it. Come through to back now. Say it's virtually impossible to overtake on this track. Has been done, but certainly isn't easy as they approach Raskas. Real hard fighting going here. And let's have a look at now and start finish straight because he's going to have the DRS. But unfortunately John's got DRS on Mike Ev as well, so not an awful lot can be done there. Let's move back up. So Stoner's dropping slightly behind the Ferrari of Bo. Bo's still laying the pressure on Gamble, and Gamble doing a fantastic job maintaining his lead here. So this is where I think he would look to make a move on him, but he just isn't close enough. He just can't do it. Coming through to Tabac. Fantastic aerial shot here. Louis Chiron. Line up for the swimming pool turns there. DRS activation point. Get on the right hand side. A sweep over to the left for that right hand, La Rascasse. Then through to Anthony Nose. Into that start finish straight. DRS activation. See those wide open there as they're coming up to Saint-Deveau. Through Beau Rivage. Up to Masnet. Left hand. Leading into Casino Square right-hander. So they drop down now. This is a downward hill, so this is downhill quite steep into Mirabeau Haute, right-hander there. Slow it down, get over onto left-right, through that chicane, through Fairmont hairpin. Right Mirabeau Basse, right Poitiers, and then that long sweeping right of the tunnel there. It is an overtaking opportunity, but you need to get on the dirty side of the track, and you don't really want to be doing that as you're approaching the Nouveau Chicane there of turns 10 and 11. So nice and tight in there. Beau behind the McLaren as they come through. He's very, very tight in on there. Come through to back. Beau Rivage, sorry, not Beau, Nouveau Chicane. Through soon pull, coming up to Rascasse. Round Anthony Nogues into that start finish straight. Is he close enough to try and push on this now as he's got the DRS activated into turn 1 Saint-Deveau? No, he just can't do it. He's going to have to be a lot closer than that if he looks to make a move on that sector. And that start finish straight. Not an easy one to make at all. So let's have a quick look at our positions. See where the biggest one. Slim, as I say, obviously he's holding that 4th position. He moved up from 9th, so everyone's moved up 1. Bass unfortunately has dropped down 1 from 5th place into 6th place. John is currently in the pits. He was up 5 in the Haas there. Buddha's dropped down 1 and he's now moved back up again, so he's on level par. Phenomenal's now moved up to 8th position. John's obviously in the pits, so we're starting to see some pit changes here. Not seeing any from the lead cars. There's Portner there in the Mercedes in 12th. Slacky in the Renault. He's going to be very disappointed there in 13th place. Miguel in the Toro Rosso 14th. Elfren in the Force India coming into the pits now. So there we have our leaders. Gamble in the McLaren, followed by Beau in the Ferrari. followed by Stoner in the Haas as they're coming round to Casino. Drop downhill. Now this gives you an idea of the drop in gradient there as they coming up to the Mirabeau Haute and then through to the Fairmont Hairpin. Round Mirabeau Basse, through Poitiers and into the tunnel. So really, really close. Basse is, looks like he's putting pressure here. Let's just quickly see. Basse is certainly applying pressure here to Maikev in the Mercedes. Now is he going to risk? Is he going to risk it? He needs to move up position, but is he going to risk? Oh, he's trying to take him on there. Oh my God! He's trying to take him, Mirabeau. Oh, and he just went too tight. No, Basse. Oh, turn 8, Poitiers, Basse goes straight. DNF there for Ferrari and Basse. He was just pushing that bit too hard. He was trying to. He tried to take in Fairmont Hairpin, couldn't do it. Kept up pressure on Mirabeau Basse. Poitiers won it on the outside, thinking he could cut in. Unfortunately, straight into the barrier. DNF waved yellow flags there for turn 8, Poitiers. Oh, what a disappointment there for Ferrari. They're going to be so gutted. Maikev obviously was defending very solidly there, and unfortunately Basse was the one that came off on the wrong side of that one. So there we have Slim. He's moved up to 4th place now. As I said, he's from 9th in his start position. He's coming through now. We've got wave green flags, so that has been cleared. Fantastic job there. We can continue racing. So we have Stoner now in 3rd place for Haas, Beau in 2nd place for Ferrari, and Gamble in 1st place for McLaren. These 3 drivers have been battling right from the start, right from the get-go. So, well, not from the get-go, from about lap 4. So there's really nothing in it. None of them are pitted yet. We've got 2 on Super Softs and Stoner on the Ultra Softs there. So Stoner's the one that's likely to be coming in sooner rather than later. We have Slim Shamey for Williams coming in now, so he's going off the Ultra Softs. Very likely we're going to see him going on to the Super Softs here. Let's have a look at the Williams pit. Yes, indeed, he's going on to Super Soft. New front wing there, obviously front wing damage that he's had, so that's going to give him a little bit more time in the pits. So Slim going out on the Super Softs there. These top 3 drivers still not come in. They don't want to do it. They just don't want to come in. Okay, so that brings Buddha up into 6th place now for Renault. Phenomenon, fantastic job there. He is a phenomenon. Through Rascasse, 7th place for Phenomenon. Keep going, Sauber. Doing a great job there. There we have John in the Haas. Obviously did the pit there. He's gone on to the Super Soft, so he's in 8th position. Peter in the Williams in 9th position. Portmer in the Mercedes in 10th, Slacky in Renault in 11th, Grim for all the remaining in 12th, Miguel in 13th for Toro Rosso, and we've been joined by Basse. Basse, I was actually watching your fight there with Maikev as you were coming through Fairmont Hairpin. I couldn't believe you were trying to make a move in him, and then unfortunately straight into the barrier at Poitiers. Back, you know, my friend. Oh, I think this is the stuff you're talking at this moment. I'm sure Bass will come in. Oh, here he is.
Yes.
Bass, what's happened? We were watching, yes. We were watching the action there on obviously the Mercedes of Maikev. You tried to make a move with him on the Fairmont Hairpin.
Yeah. I was faster than him.
I can see that, but overcooked it as you came down to Poitiers and straight into the barrier, unfortunately.
Yeah, but the circuit is too small. Too small.
It's a tough race.
Yeah.
It's a tough race, and it's one that really sort of opens up the field. And as I said to our viewers and our watchers, it's, you know, it really does push the driver to the absolute extreme of his capabilities and abilities as well.
Yes. Yeah.
So you're disappointed, clearly.
Yeah. Yeah. Maar ja, this is Monaco.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, I mean, you were out of position because it looked like you lost position. I mean, you obviously moved up position fantastically in that first lap.
Yeah.
And then you had an incident which sort of brought you sort of further down the field again. What happened there?
Yeah, Stoner is on the right from my car, and yeah, is my front wing is damaged.
So you had the front wing damage. You had to come in obviously to the pits, and that obviously put you further down. And it was an unexpected pit stop, so that obviously affected your strategy there as well.
Yeah.
So not the best of races, not
my
the happiest
teammate
for Ferrari, but your teammate's doing well, and he's certainly applying the pressure.
The second, yes, but gamble.
Well, they've been fighting it out now. We're on lap 24. They've been fighting it out for at least 20 laps. So, you know, interesting to see that there. So let's go back there, and you can see, I mean, I don't think the gap has dropped over a second. I mean, we are pretty close to it now. But Gamble's putting up a great fight there as well, because obviously when they're coming through the start-finish and you've got the DRS activated, but your Ferrari, your teammate, just doesn't seem to be able to get any closer to that McLaren.
Yeah. You stay behind him.
Well, I was watching Bo earlier, and this is where I was expecting him to make a move, is turn 11, because he takes quite a wide angle through turn 10, which lines him up very tightly to the right-hand side of turn 11, and I saw him take a little peek at Gamble a few laps ago on that. I mean, do you think that's turn 11 as you're coming out of the Nouveau Chicane?
Yeah.
Slacky's got a time penalty there.
Yes.
Corner cutting, 3 seconds. Well, we did see Zwoof with a 10-second time penalty earlier on before he unfortunately panned it in turn 13, Louis Chiron.
Stoner fastest lap on 14.8.
So Stoner's really putting the pressure in. He is on the ultra softs. He was running the ultra softs before. You still got your teammate Bo on the super softs, and interestingly enough, he hasn't pitted yet, neither Bo nor Gamble. So these guys are going to need to pit pretty soon. I mean, they're on lap 25 here. Let's have a look, see if we can get some.
Rim.
Oh, and what happened there? So
it's lucky in the pit.
This went through. These guys are going to have to pit pretty soon. Let's have a quick look here.
What's happened? That's green black.
Ooh, this is really close. We'll just stay in a quick in-car view here with Bo as they're coming round. Coming up now to Casino Square, right-hand turn. Dropping down, and this is where I say you've got a real drop in the gradient here, down to Mirabeau Haas, that right-hander. Line it up there for the Fairmont hairpin. Sharp left-hand turn. Then right-hand turn into Mirabeau Bass. Down, right-hand turn into Potier, and this is where, unfortunately, Bo went into the barrier there. And then we come through the tunnel. And this is where it gets really tricky. You can see the guys there, 166, 168 kilometers per hour before they break into that turns 10 and 11. Coming up to back through that Louis Chiron, left right, line it up for two pull, right left. coming up to Rascasse, La Rascasse now. Brake, hard right. Get on that right-hand side as you line up for the Anthony Nogues. Very narrow into the DRS activation. There we have DRS, and you can see what I'm saying there, Bo. Is just even with the DRS, your teammate really isn't able to make any substantial catch-up on the McLaren there. So very disappointing for them on that one. So we are still waiting to see what happens. We've still got the two lead drivers that haven't stopped. We are on lap 27. They are both on the super soft tyres, but obviously, you know, they are putting in some hard laps here. So coming through the tunnel, down to Nouveau Chicane, turns 10 and 11. You can see that Ferrari getting so tight in on that McLaren there. It's just coming round to the back. Louis Chiron through to swimming pool. And Bo is really laying on the pressure now. Is he getting himself lined up as they come into Rascasse? We've got the Sauber there, phenomenal, coming into the pit, so he's cleared in front of them. Is he going to be looking to try and get a move now on this start-finish straight with a DRS? It just, that McLaren just really opens up. Unexpected front straight line speed there as they're coming through now, Maznet. Portman's got a 3-second penalty. I say exceeding track limits. Coming down to Mirabeau Haut, right-hand turn now. Line up for the hairpin of Fairmont. Looks like we've got Williams just ahead of these guys as they come in, so that'll be likely be Peter as they come through the tunnel. I think he'll probably move over, give him the opportunity to come through, unless he's already got down to the turn. He's already got down to the turn, I think. Okay, so this is going to bunch them up a bit. They come through, coming through to back. Louis Chiron. Such a difficult, because you've got that left-right of Louis Chiron and then that right-left of swimming pool. Brings you up to Rascasse, through Anthony Nogue, line it up, DRS activation. Bo's so tight in there against that as they come through Rascasse and Anthony Nogues, but he just can't seem to take advantage of that as they get on that start-finish straight with the Slim Shady. Now got a 3-second time penalty again. So Stoner's starting to drop behind now. Stoner's now 3 seconds behind this lead pair, and the fight is really between this lead pair. We've got Maikeb for Mercedes is in 4th place, Slim Shady for Williams is in 5th place, John F1 for Haas is in 6th, Buddha for Renault is in 7th, Peter F1 for Williams is in 8th, Phenomenal for Sauber, fantastic job in 9th, Portma for Mercedes is in 10th, Slacky for Renault is in 11th, Grimm for Red Bull, the only remaining Red Bull there, is in 12th, Miguel for Toro Rosso is in 13th, and Elfren coming up at the rear there in the Force India. So here we go, we've got pits coming in, Mercedes. We still haven't seen our lead 2 drivers pit as yet. We are now on lap 29 of 78, coming up for lap 30. These guys will need to pit soon, but I think it's going to be a question of one's going to respond. Grimm's now got a 3-second time penalty, so they're still not pitting. Lap 30 they're starting now, so nearly halfway through the race, and Peter moving across there to let them through. Oh no, he's not.
Oh, blue flag.
He's just come out of the pits. I'm not sure if he's come out of the pits or not. So there is a real fight between these guys. They have been hard at it now for at least 25 laps. And Gamble is just he's just staying ahead of that Ferrari. There's nothing that Bo can seem to do. I saw him take a little peek in turn 11. He's not as bold as his teammate Bass taking a peek there in Fairmont hairpin, but he's certainly applying the pressure, and Gamble is responding, defending superbly well. But you can see here,
lucky his penalty.
I'm going to see Bo try and make a move on this turn 10 and 11 here. Yeah, and he's tight in. He's tight in. He's so close when they come into that turn 10. That McLaren stays ahead in turn 12. Oh, slight wobble there from Gamble as he's coming through Louis Chiron. So, are we going to see this McLaren pit? And if he does, is the Ferrari going to pit at the same time? No, and they're coming at 31. Still on the same set of tyres. Supersoft are the only cars, I believe, that haven't actually pitted. We've seen some of the drivers go on to the softs, who are obviously looking to go towards the end of the race. So Mike Ebb in the Mercedes, Slim Shamey in the Williams, and Elfrins in the Force India. So they are the only drivers that haven't pitted as yet. So very interesting indeed. They are both on the super softs. And we can see Bo's just really laying on the pressure. And Stoner's caught up now. So Stoner, because they were going through those back markers there, it's given Stoner the opportunity to catch up. So he's dropped that 3-second gap down to just over half a second. And so he's back in the game. It looks like Bo just easing off a little bit as they came through that turn 10 and 11. Fantastic shot here as they come through to the swimming pool turns. Coming up to Rascasse. Let's hope we stay with this camera angle for Rascasse. Fantastic. Look at this. You can see them going right over, lining up for Anton Knowles. Very tight through here. You really do have to line it up on the right and left. On the start-finish straight. DRS activated there for Bo. But he just can't seem to catch up. It's a great straight line speed there from the McLaren. Really do a great job as they're coming round Massanet now. Coming through to Casino, right hand turner. Look at this gradient downhill now as they come up to Mirabeau Haut. Lining up for the Fairmont hairpin.
Oh, blue flags.
Through Mirabeau Basse.
Whoa.
Right under the pumps there, Potier, and through to the tunnel. Let's go with Bo now. See if he's not close enough to try and make a move on there. I think Bo, if Bo had the opportunity to overtake, I think he would pull out a lead ahead of Gamble. What do you think, Bass? You think he's got the pace, he just can't get past him?
Yes, he's faster as Gamble.
And we can see the Haas closing in there behind the Ferrari. And he's looking to take a move on Rascasse. Oh, not a good move. That wouldn't have stuck easily. That would have been messy. So they're now on lap 33. They still haven't pitted, and it really is. They're playing Russian roulette here. They really are. It's, you know, who's going to give in first? Who's going to pit first? This is a true F1 esports Russian roulette game. Who's going to fold first?
I think
I wouldn't want to play these guys at poker. Are these guys good poker players, do you think?
Yeah, but Stoner, he is all stopped.
No, Stoner's definitely in there. As I say, he's in the mix.
Yes.
He did drop 3 seconds behind, but when they caught up to those back markers and had to slow down, it gave him the opportunity to catch up. And I think he was able to overtake I think it was the Williams far easier than the lead two. Okay, so we're coming back on now, going through Louis Chiron up to the swimming pool. I think the Haas touched a barrier there. So, are we going to see them pit? Are we going to see them pit? Are we going to see them pit? No, we're not.
No.
So, they're still out there. Same set of tyres, super softs. They're on lap 34. Oh, this is really, they really are pushing. These guys are really pushing it to the limit now. Let's quickly move down. We've got Mike Ebb now looking like he's looking to make a move on Peter F1 and the Williams. Getting very close in there. Oh, is he going to try and make a move through the tunnel? The problem is through the tunnel you can go on the other side, but you're on the dirty side of the track, and you don't want that as you're coming up to Nouveau Chicane.
Yeah.
You don't want any dirt on your
I
tyres
think
as
op
you're coming
start
through
finish.
there. Okay, so here we have our lead drivers, Gamble and Bow. Very, very closely followed by Haas. As they're coming through now. Now, is he going to pit? Is he going to pit? No, he's not. And they're still out. So, lap 35, our two lead drivers, Gamble in the McLaren, is in first place. Bow in the Ferrari is in top for the past 30 odd laps. Neither one's given in, both running on super softs. Both have not pitted. We're halfway through the race, practically, and they have not pitted. So, who's going to go first? And by go, I hope I don't see them going into a barrier.
Bow.
So they're coming round now. Under
the yellow.
Bass, through Portier. It looks to me as if Bo's giving him a little bit more breathing space now. So is that because he's starting to get the wear on his tyres? Certainly the gap's opened up a little bit more. It was sort of half a second. We're now nearly 800ths of a second. Or an eighth of a second rather. Oh,
Whoa.
he's definitely starting to lose traction there. They're definitely starting to lose traction. They're going to have to be coming in very, very soon.
Oh no.
I don't know about you, but I think Gamble's pretty much going to stay out as long as he can. But the traction, you can start to see those cars are starting to slide.
Whoa.
So their wear is down. It wouldn't surprise me if we see a 3 second time penalty there for Elfrans.
Gamble is left.
Oh, and he's made a move on him. Fantastic. He had to slow down. He had to slow down as they were coming up to Casino. Bo took full advantage and overtook Stoner. Excellent move there. Fantastic move. So Bo has now had the opportunity. He took that opportunity as they were coming out of Masnet, round Masnet into Casino. He saw that made a slight mistake there, Gamble. Stoner's gone through as well, so clearly Gamble has some issue. I think he may have hit the barrier and put some damage on his front wing there. I think he's got some damage on his front wing, so that's now released Bo into first place. Stoner is now in second place in the Haas. Now, Stoner has the advantage. He's got the ultra softs. He has pitted. So this is his second set of tyres. Bo has not pitted as yet. And he's still on his super softs. So 3 second time penalty there for John F1. Not too sure what that was about. Now, really, Stoner's got an excellent opportunity here. Because if he puts on the pressure, he's certainly got the superior grip. Running those ultra softs.
Michael is pressure on the Peter.
Bo, is he going to push Bo into making a mistake? Or will we see Bo come in and pit? Coming down now through the Fairmont hairpin. Round to Mirabas, coming out on the back markers. So who's that back marker? Is that one of the Renaults? It's coming through now. Coming through the tunnel, coming down to turn 10-11, it is one of the Renaults. Nouveau chicane. Coming through. I think that's the Renault Slacky. So, through Louis Chiron, through swimming pool, coming up to Rascasse. Are we going to see Bo come into the pits on this one? Let's have a look. No, he's not. He's staying out. Okay, this could be risky. Stoner is certainly putting the pressure on, and where, you know, just as Bo thought, yes, I've done it, I've overtaken him. He overtook Gamble. He thought he was open, but then Stoner came up behind him, keeping that pressure on. So really, full pressure for these guys. Certainly for Bo. He's going to be looking, he wants to try and pull away if he can from this Haas, but this Haas as we know, is powered by a Ferrari engine as well. And he's on the Ultra Softs, so he's got the superior advantage, certainly with regards to that. Can Bo stay out there? How long can he stay out there for? We're on lap 38, coming up to lap 39. He hasn't pitted yet. He's running the Super Softs. What is he going to do? And he's starting to open up a gap now, so we do have a gap on Stoner of just over a second now. So DRS Mike, 3-second time penalty. That's for obviously going over the corners. Normally that would be swimming pool that you'd have that on. He's still not coming in. He's still staying out. Yeah, he's staying out. And that's Stoner now. He's got the DRS on him. Is it enough to get him to turn one? Is Stoner going to make a move on Saint-Deveau? No. So he's still staying out there. Coming up to Beau Rivage, through Beau Rivage, coming up to the right-hand turn of Massenet. This is where he took gamble on the earlier laps. Fantastic move there. Unfortunately, we didn't catch it. I wish I had. Hopefully somebody else would have done. So we're coming down to Fairmont Hairpin.
Oh, France.
Through Mirabeau Bass. Under the tunnel. So he's keeping this Haas at bay. The question is how long for? I mean, is it, you know, he's going to have to pit at some point. He's got to let him through. So he certainly has the advantage. Because undoubtedly we're going to see Stoner still pitting again because he's running on the Ultra Softs. I can't see him going to the end of the race on this one.
He's pitting.
So really tough race here.
No.
No, he's not. No, he's
no,
not.
he's not.
Lap 40 and he's still on the same set of tyres. Does he think he can go to the end of the race? No. I don't believe it. Or is he looking to get... He's down to 38 laps. He's halfway through. Does he just not want to go another set of Super Softs? He wants to get on the Ultra Softs. If he wants to get on the Ultra Softs, he's going to have to go probably at least another five laps. But he's keeping the Haas at bay. So this is fantastic. Okay, so Gamble's dropped quite far down now. He's dropped in 30 seconds behind Stoner. Then we have John, F1. In the second Haas there in 4th place. So Haas in for some good points if they maintain these positions. Then we have Mike Ebb in the Mercedes in 5th place. Yeah, 18 seconds behind him is Peter in the Williams. Phenomenon is in 7th place for the Sauber. Fantastic race here from Phenomenon. Maintaining 7th place here. Really good going as he goes through the hairpin there. And then we have Buddha in the Renault in 8th place, Slim Shady in the Williams in 9th, Portmer just coming into the pits now. He was in 10th place, so Portmer's pitted. And Beau's pitted as well, so Beau's finally pitted on lap 40. He releases Stoner into 1st place on the Ultra Softs.
Ooh,
we have
yellow.
Grim in 12th place, Miguel and Elfrans there. So Stoner's... Beau should be able to hopefully come out ahead of Gamble. Yes, he will, because Gamble's just going through Rascasse now. So he's maintained 2nd place, so I think he's looking pretty neat. He's gone onto the soft, so he's looking to go to the end of the race now on this set of tyres. He's still got a good gap between him. It looks, yeah, still got a 12-second gap, 13-second gap to Gamble, so that's not too bad at all. He's got an 18-second gap on Stoner ahead of him, but Stoner still has to pit again. So I think he stands a very good chance. If I was going to pit, I'd say Stoner needs to pit. Well, he needs to get some fast laps down. Let's see who's done the fastest lap. Okay, fastest lap has been set by Stoner. So Stoner has obviously responded on those Ultra Softs.
Beau, 3-second penalty.
So he's done a 1:14.84. And Beau's done a 1:16.7. So it's a 2-second difference there between those two drivers. But obviously one's on Ultra Softs and the other's on Softs. Although saying that, I would suggest that the 1:16 time has been set on the Super Softs that he had earlier. Okay, so Stoner has responded. He's putting in some fast laps because he needs to build that gap up, but he's only built half a second, so it's 18 seconds. Still got the 12-second gap to Gamble, so Bo really does stand a very good chance of taking that first place from Stoner as soon as he comes in. Gamble maintaining third place there. He's on the super soft, so he's certainly going to be looking to go to the end. Then we have John in the Mercedes in 5th. Then we have Peter F1 in the Williams in 6th. Phenomenal in the Sauber. Fantastic race from the Sauber here in 7th place. Buddha for Renault in 8th. Slim Shamy for Williams in 9th. Portma for Mercedes in 10th. Slacky for Renault in 11th. Grim for Red Bull in 12th. Miguel for Toro Rosso in 13th. And bringing up the rear is Elfrin in the Force India. Okay, so we're riding with Stoner, currently in first place. Bo's in second place in the Ferrari. He's already pitted. He's gone onto the soft tyres, so he's looking to go to the end of the race. Stoner has also pitted, although he's pitted twice and put ultra softs on. So he started with ultra softs, pitted, put a second set of ultra softs on. So he's going to be looking to come in certainly before Bo, or sooner, unless he's going to try and push it towards the end of the race. Then we have Gamble in third place. So let's have a quick look at this. He's 12 seconds behind. So we could see, once Stoner comes in, if we maintain the positions we got and we don't have any more pit changes, what we could actually see is Bo move into first place, Gamble move to second, John would stay in fourth, and Stoner would take third. So Stoner's certainly going to be, hopefully, unless anything untoward happens, is going to be in the top 3. Everyone else is pretty much sort of stretched out. Pretty good gaps between them. So Bo is starting to close that gap down now on Stoner. He's about second. He was 18 and a half seconds. He's about 17 and a half seconds behind him now. He's maintaining the gap to Gamble, so Gamble's not getting any closer to him. So let's ride with Gamble there as he comes through La Rascasse, through Anthony Noakes, and onto the start-finish straight. DRS not activated, obviously, because he's got nobody ahead of him. Okay, so we can see Bo now closing down on the back marker there, just moving across. Slim Shamy, I think, in 8th place there, moving over, letting him through. He's slowed him down a bit because the gap's now up to 18 and a half seconds again, so that's a bit disappointing. I think he'll be a bit frustrated with that. So Stoner still in first place. He is running on the ultra softs. Let's have a quick look at stops here. So everyone's done one stop at least. Unfortunately, don't recall when Stoner came in for and Stoner's coming in now. Okay, so this now releases Bo. Let's have a look at this.
The red tire.
So Bo is coming through the swimming pool, coming up to Rascasse, down on the McLaren. He's not going to make it. The Haas is just coming out of the pits. Bo's coming down, coming around the corner now. This is going to be very, very tight. Let's watch this now. And he's come out ahead of him. He managed to open up the gap sufficiently. He got it to 18 and a half seconds. You want about, well, with a good pit stop, 17 and a half really is the absolute minimum. And he's managed to stay out ahead, so didn't call that one too well. Unfortunately, Bo wasn't able to close down that gap sufficiently to get him on that pit, so he's going to be a bit disappointed with that. Stoner's going to be very, very happy with it, obviously. He maintains that first place for the Haas. They're coming around back marker now of Elfrin through the tunnel. Oh, this is holding up Bo now. He's got a 2-second gap. Doesn't want that. Portman's got a penalty there, 3-second time penalty, exceeding track limits. So Bo's 2.5 seconds behind Stoner. So Stoner's gone on to the super softs. He's still got 33 laps to go, so this is going to be interesting to see what happens on this. He's certainly going to be looking to maintain these tyres until the end of the race. The question is, will he be able to? And Bo is certainly going to be closing up that gap fairly soon. It has opened up to 3 seconds, but I'm sure he's going to be closing it down. Then we have Gamble in 3rd place in the McLaren. He's looking pretty safe, and obviously had an issue there by the looks of it with John. I think John may have pitted. Yeah, I think John did pit there. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, John has pitted on there as well, so that's why he lost that place. So Peter's now moved up to 4th place in the Williams. John F1 has dropped down into 5th place. Then we have Mike Ebb in the Mercedes in 7th place. Fantastic show there. Buddha for Renault in 8th. Slim Shamey for Williams in 9th. Portmer in the 2nd Mercedes is in 10th. Slacky for the 2nd Renault is currently in the pits, and he's currently in 11th place. He's just been overtaken there by Grimm in the Red Bull. And looks like he's going to be... Yeah, no, he's okay. Miguel is the one that's behind him, so that's fine. He's just being lapped. Slacky, stop and go. Oh dear. So Slacky's got a time penalty there for exceeding the speed limit as he was coming into the pits. So he's got a 5-second stop go. So Stoner is now building up that lead over Bo. He's got a 4-second lead now ahead of him. Bo's now coming up to the back marker of Slacky as they come through the tunnel, so that's going to slow him down as they're coming through Nouveau Chicane and the back turns of Tabac, Chiron and Swimming Pool. Let's see what happens there. He's still looking pretty safe, obviously, for 2nd place, although I'm sure he would have much preferred 1st, but you know, we've still got 30 laps to go. Anything can happen, and it normally does, as they say. So really hard racing here, and again, you know, you've got to bear in mind this is a very, very precise, very hard track. 3-second time penalty there for Grimm as well. Oh, that was so close. I had visions of the Ferrari going into the back of that Renault there. So as Bo comes up to Saint-Deveau through Beau Rivage. There we go, through Beau Rivage. Leading up to Casino Square on that right-hand turn. Dropping down the hill here, quite a steep drop into Mirabeau Haute, that right-hand turn. Lining up there for the Fairmont hairpin. Round through Mirabeau Basse. To the right, Portière, and then into the tunnel. So he's got the Williams ahead of him there. I think it's... Oh, and Grimm's gone out. Oh, is that turn 12? Yeah, I think that is. That's turn, turn 13, Louis Chiron. And that's where we, I think that's where we saw his teammate Zwoof go out earlier, if I remember rightly. There is no safety car. That car will be cleared very quickly. That car will be cleared before the next lap. So no safety car on there at all. That car will be cleared as the other cars come round now. So let's go with Stoner. And there's our 1st place driver there. He's coming round Casino Square now. Dropping down to Mirabeau Haute. Lining up there for Fairmont hairpin. Through the right-hander of Mirabeau Basse. Right-hander there of Portière. Through into the tunnel. This is where you've got to be so precise here on your braking and your turning in as you're coming up to turn 10 and 11 Nouveau Chicane. Approaching Tabac now, and as you see, as you come round to Louis Chiron, no car there, and Swimming Pool, turns 14, 15, La Rascasse, most firmest turn I think in F1, turn 16. Through Anthony Nogues there, turn 17. It's like threading a needle going through those that corner there. Into the start-finish straight. Coming up to Saint-Deval. Round Beau Rivage. So, really fantastic job here. Fastest lap set by Stoner still maintained there, that 1:14. Beau did drop second, he wasn't on 1:16, he's managed to get a little bit closer with a 1:15. But Stoner is certainly leading the way in this race this evening, and really putting up a fantastic show. Let's hope he can maintain it until the end. We've got 38 laps to go. Sorry, 28 laps to go. What am I saying? 38 laps. I thought that was wrong. Said that 10 laps ago. Ah. Okay, so here we are, lap 50 now with our leader Stoner. He's certainly building up that gap now. Obviously, Beau's been going through a few of the back markers, but he's got a 6-second gap now to his first place Stoner. Behind him, another 15 seconds behind him is Gamble in the McLaren. Oh, and there's been an incident there. Oh, Peter. Was that Peter or John? There was an incident with John, I think. Yeah, it was an incident with John. I think he spun out, and I think Peter in the not Peter, Mike went into him there, and the Renault. I think that may have been Buddha. Yeah, he's coming into the pits there, Mike, so he's definitely got damage on there. John has just come into the straight now. Buddha coming through. Swimming pool, so it wasn't Buddha, it must have been Slacky that they had that incident with there. It's Slim in 9th, sorry, Phenomena in 9th, Portmer in 10th, Slacky in 11th, Miguel, Toro Rosso in 12th, Elfren for Forcinia there in 13th. So here we are with our leader, Stoner, in the Haas as he comes through swimming pool. 14 and 15, coming up to the right-hander here, La Rascasse, coming through, threading the needle. Anthony Nogues coming into the start-finish straight. He starts lap 52, so 26 laps to go. He's got a 6-second lead, 6.5-second lead on second place Ferrari of Beau. Coming up third place we have Gamble. He's another 15 seconds behind Beau, so about 22 seconds behind the race leader in the McLaren there. Then we have Peter F1 in the Williams. Great result if he maintains that position in fourth place there. Then John F1 unfortunately made a mistake into Nouveau Chicane, paid dearly for it. He's dropped down into fifth position. Buddha for Renault is in sixth position. Mike for Mercedes is in 7th, Slim Shady for Williams is in 8th, Phenomenon for Sauber is in 9th, and great race here from Phenomenon. He's been doing really well, got up to 7th position. Unfortunately he's dropped back, undoubtedly due to pit stops. Then we have Portmer in the Mercedes is in 10th place, Slacky for Renault is in 11th place. He's going to be very disappointed with that. Yeah, a bit unlucky with a collision, had an incident. And then we have Miguel for Toro Rosso in 12th place and Elfren in 13th place. So Stoner, that gap's starting to close. So Beau's starting to close that gap down just a little bit. I think by about a second so far. So these guys, Stoner has had 2 pit stops as opposed to Beau's 1 pit stop. Obviously we did see Beau go very long into the race, lap 40 with the super softs, so he's clearly looking to go to the end of the race with this one. So position changes. So Stoner obviously was in 4th place at the start, he's moved up to 1st. Beau was in 3rd, he's moved up 1 into 2nd. Gamble was in 2nd, he's dropped down to 3rd. Peter F1 and John F1 are 2 of the biggest winners, well, the 2 biggest winners there. Peter starting in 11th and John starting in 12th, so they've moved up 7 positions into 4th and 5th respectively. Everyone else pretty much the same, middle of the road up to Slim. Then we have Phenomenon, who's jumped up 6 places, and I was saying Phenomenon's done very, very well in this race, so great show from him in the Sauber, moving up 6 places there. Portman moved up 3 places in the Mercedes. Slacky, unfortunately, because of the incident he had there, dropped 5, so he dropped from 6 down to 11. Miguel's moved up 5 and Elfrin's moved up 3. So here we are now. This is the battle. That gap's still maintaining at 6 seconds. I don't really think, unless something untoward happens, that Bo's going to be able to do anything to change that. We will obviously see. Still got a lot of racing to do. Still got 24 laps to go. So about 3/4 of the way through. So Buddha in the Renault is pitting now. Likely that he's going to go onto the... he might go onto the Ultra Softs, but I doubt it. Let's see what Renault do here. Yeah, Super Soft, so back onto Super Softs there for Renault. Maike pitting, Sauber still out there. Mercedes de Portma, there's the second Renault Slacky, Miguel F1 and Elfrin in the Force India bringing up the rear. So Bo's starting to close that gap down now, he's down to 5.5 seconds. So he closed the second in the past 2 laps. So 24, certainly got, maintains that sort of speed. Obviously the cars are getting lighter, they were carrying less fuel, so they will start to speed up and be faster. But we have seen that Stoner has set the fastest lap. Let's see if he's still the holder of that. Yes, he is, 114.6, although Bo has got a lot closer with a 114.8, so Bo is starting to respond now, so there's every possibility that if Bo maintains this, that he might get the opportunity to close that gap and actually start to threaten that first place of Stoner. They're both looking to go to the end of the race with the tyres that they're on. Obviously Stoner taking that little bit more of a risk running with the Super Softs, so there is the possibility that he might need to come in, and if he does then Bo would certainly take first place. Although Stoner would probably be, in fact no, Stoner would definitely maintain, unless he had an issue in the pit lane, would maintain second. So just to run through, this is F1 tonight, season 3 of 2017, race 6, Monaco. We've had some really good, tight, hard racing on here. This isn't a course where you see a lot of overtaking. We've seen some bold attempts. Unfortunately, we've also seen some unfortunate results from that. We've seen people taking the corners, just missing their apexes, and we've seen 2 cars go out at turn 13. Louis Chiron, lucky for some, not for others, obviously. Turn 13 there. We've also seen a few incidents, a few close shaves. Nouveau chicane there, turn 10-11 as they come out the tunnel, so that tight chicane. We've even seen somebody try and make a move at Rascasse, although it didn't pay off. So we've seen some exciting racing, we've seen some close racing, and the fastest lap now reset by Stoner, a 114.2. So is he responding to Bo that's starting to close up the gap there? Could well be, wouldn't surprise me. A lot of needle between these guys, a lot of one-upmanship, a lot of competition. But then again, that's what it's all about. These guys all hunting for first place. Unfortunately, only one of them ever gets it. So we've seen some good, close, hard racing here as we'd expected at Monaco. We haven't seen too many DNFs, which I'm quite pleasantly surprised by. Only 4 DNFs there, Bass. That's pretty good going, really, isn't it? Certainly expect to Yo. Okay. Okay. So here we're coming up now, and that gap opened up again. It's now up to almost 7 seconds. So clearly Stoner has responded to Bo speeding up and put in some fast laps again to maintain that gap. Obviously it's not a big enough gap if he needs to pit, but it's a big enough gap to give him a little bit of breathing space. So that's up to 7 seconds now. So he's clearly responding quite solidly there. So they're coming down now. Everyone else is pretty much stretched out. We're not seeing any close fighting or close driving at this moment in time. But then again, as I said, obviously this isn't really a track about overtaking. This is, well, we've got a 5 second stop go for Elfrans. Oh, he's going to be very disappointed. They're crossing the pit lane. White line, 3 second time penalty for Phenomenon as well. So they're going to be disappointed. That Buddha 3 second time penalty. So we're seeing obviously, you know, 78 laps. We're on lap 58. You're starting to see the pressure tell now. They're starting to make small mistakes, slightly running over. Cars getting lighter. They're getting faster. So really, it's. This is where it really starts to get hard now. These last 20 laps, 19 laps, this is where you really start to feel it. Not just mentally, but physically as well. There's a lot of turns, a lot of twists mentally. So that's a physical point. Mentally, the concentration you need to maintain as you're running through this track. So here we are now, going through the back markers there. That's good, both been let through. So Stoner now coming around the back up to swimming pool. Round Rascasse, threading the eye of the needle through Knowles onto the start finish straight. Rascasse, Bo coming round now onto the start finish straight. So you can see that gap has opened up now, 9 seconds. So I think that Stoner's started to find his sweet spot now on those super softs, which is good, but he's still got 18 laps to go. And Bo's on the softs. I don't think he's hit the sweet spot yet, but saying that, he's put in some very fast times, as I said. So, not too sure. I mean, Bo's putting a 1:14.5. Stone's got a 1:14.3, so only 0.3 of a second between them there. So it's really a question of these tyres now for Stoner. We did see, obviously, Bo go for 40 laps with the super softs, and we got fastest lap now by Gamble, 1:13.375. So Gamble's now come back into the mix. Although, to be fair, I think he's a little bit too far behind to do anything about it. He's 46 seconds behind second place there of Bo. So unlikely he's going to be able to do anything with that, unless, of course, something happens. And it can. We all know that. So this gap is definitely opening up there between them. So there's Stoner, our lead car now, coming round Portiere into the tunnel. Let's go with him now as he comes through the tunnel. And this is the break point there. Get it there. Hit that apex. And you can see debris there on the track slightly. Coming up to back. Left-hand turn. left, right, up to the swimming pool, right, left. This is where the penalties come in, is when you go exceed those track limits there. Raskas now, hard right. Thread the eye of the needle through Knowles and onto the start-finish straight. So fantastic there. Good run as we come now, watching the Ferrari through Raskas, Anthony Knowles down the start-finish straight. He's now 10 seconds behind first place Stoner, so that gap is definitely opening up. So those super softs, that lighter load now as they burn off the fuel, making a difference there to the Haas. So a bit embarrassing obviously for Ferrari. They are running a Ferrari engine in the Haas. Comes through hairpin, Fairmount, round Portier, into the tunnel. Can he do anything? This gap's now 10 seconds. And Stoner's flying through to back. Louis Chiron through swimming pool, coming up to La Rascasse. Through Anthony Knowles into the start-finish straight. Stoner now coming around, Bo coming around La Rascasse. He's got the Mercedes in front of him there. Needs to move out the way. There we go. So it's 10.5 seconds now. He's not closing that gap at all. So we've got, I think, Buddha looking to make a move. No, my times were out there. I thought he was making a move on Slim Shamy, but he's not. He's behind Phenomenon. Who's now... Oh no, Phenomenon's behind him, sorry. And he's pitting. So Buddha's pitting. Slim Shamy there. Mike Evans, the McLaren. Haas, John's now in 5th place. He was in 4th, unfortunately, had an incident, but he's managed to maintain 5th. Peter F1, good result there for Williams. They'll be looking forward to those points. Puts them back in the game. Gamble for McLaren, obviously very important for him, these points. This should move them ahead of Renault in the constructors. Ooh, that was close there with Alfrens. So that should keep them there. Haas, I think, will look to move ahead as well, because obviously Stoner, if he maintains this position. So Renault currently in 3rd, could drop to 5th. We'll have to see how the results pan out and the times, because obviously we will have penalties to apply at the end of the race. Looking at the times, I don't know if they're going to make a significant difference, but they could certainly make a difference. So by my calculations, I would say that we're probably going to be looking at Haas, if they maintain these positions, moving into 2nd place in the constructors. We certainly will see John move ahead of Buddha or Stoner. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens on there. So there we are with our lead Stoner at the moment. Yeah, so Stoner, I think, will overtake Buddha on the points, possibly. So let's have a look on that. So yeah, this is really getting quite tight. So Stoner still out there in the lead. Gap's dropped a little bit, about seconds to Bo. So it's a 9-second gap as it stands at this moment in time. Gamble in the McLaren is in 3rd place, so good points there for Gamble. Peter F1 in the Williams, fantastic show from him, he's in 4th place, so good points there for Williams. John F1 in the Haas, 2nd Haas, is in 5th place. So Haas certainly stand to get some good marks, some good points, which should push them up the team table there. Mike Ebb in the Mercedes is in 6th place. Phenomenon back up to 7th place in the Sauber. Fantastic race there from Phenomenon. I think he's done really, really well. Slim Shamy for Williams is in 8th place. And Buddha's quit and has actually joined us now. So, Buddha, are you live on the stream?
Yeah, I'm here.
I think he's having a discussion there. He'll be with us soon. He's certainly joined the party.
Hello, do you hear me?
Hi, Buddha, you there?
Yeah. Hello?
So what happened there, Buddha? I couldn't quite make out. Saw you come in the pits, and then what happened?
There was, for me, a glitch on the double hairpin going down from the casino. There was a flying tire. And
right.
And I hit it once before, and it flipped my car upside down. And thank God I stayed alive. Now I just hit it somehow, and it's gone. You know, it's just quit me out of the game. Tired me.
Oh dear.
So that's my.
Well, I'm sure that's one that we'll send back some feedback to them with regards to that one. It's been a very good race. I mean, oh dear, and the Williams and Slim Shamy there has lost it at Rascasse. He's trying to turn. Thankfully, there's nobody close in behind him. So that was very close there from Slim. And the pressure's starting to tell now. Obviously, we're on lap 66 and 78, only 12 laps to go. I'll take it was getting pretty tough out there, Buddha.
Yeah. Yeah, it is getting tough out there. You know, it's everybody's sweating like crazy. There's parts flying everywhere, and it's now begun to be a race about who has the most pit stops.
Well, yeah, I mean, we certainly saw. Well, I mean, I don't know if you're aware, but we saw Bo go to lap 40 with the super softs and then go on to the softs. He just missed that pit because he came out just about a second behind Stoner. Stoner obviously pitted as well. Stoner was on the ultra softs, went onto the super softs when he pitted, and just managed to get the edge on Bo when he came out the pit. So he maintained first place. I think we're pretty much going to see him go to the end of the race there, and it looks like you could be losing your team position and also your driver position.
Yeah, well, things happen, and there's no margin for error.
3 second time penalty for Peter F1. As I say, we still do have the time penalties to apply at the end of the race, so we could still see some movement on there, although I don't see we can see significant movement because of the time gaps and differences that we've actually got. Race control, 3 second time penalty for Mykeb. So we're starting to see more penalties come through now as it coming to the closing stages of the race. Obviously, as I said, a lot of pressure. Guys are feeling tired, you're feeling physically tired, you're feeling mentally tired, and it's starting to tell now as well.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen because it's concentration is hard.
So we're riding with Bo now. He's still 9 seconds behind race leader Stoner as he's coming through Mirabeau Basse into Portière and Tunnel. So let's ride in car with him now as he approaches Neuve Chicane, turns 10 and 11. We haven't seen too many incidents on this chicane, which was good. I was expecting a few more incidents on that chicane there, but it's been pretty good. Although we have seen two incidents there at Louis Chiron. I think both Red Bulls coming up to La Rascasse now. And threads the needle, the eye of the needle through Anthony Knowles there. And you can see what I'm saying when I talk about threading the eye of the needle as they come through there. So turn 1 now, Saint-Deveau for Bo. He is closing the gap now, so he has closed that gap now to 8 seconds to race leader Stoner. As they're coming rounds. Then we have Gamble coming up in the McLaren, so third place at the moment for McLaren. Peter F1, oh, bit of an incident there I think. Peter F1 coming through the tunnel. Mykeb coming up to Casino. There we have Sauber. Phenomenon's done a really great race there, Phenomenon. For Sauber, he's in 7th place. Slim Shamy in 8th place for Williams. Then we have Portmer, second Mercedes in 9th place. Slacky for Renault is in 10th place. Miguel for Toro Rosso is in 11th place. Elfren is in 12th place. And that's it. We've got our 12 runners there. Here we ride with Bo now. And Stoner, so we can see that gap. See what that gap's up to now. So it was 8 seconds. So just under 9 seconds the gap now. So it is starting to slowly close down, although we've only got 8 laps to go. So short of any incidents, I think we're going to be seeing Stoner taking first place to Haas. Bo will be taking second place. So other than Australia, this will be the first race that Ferrari haven't won out of the 6. Sorry, out of the 6, yeah. So they've won the last 4 races. So that's Spain, Russia, Bahrain and China. Renault won in Australia. So we're going to be seeing a Haas, all things equal, coming in first place here for Monaco. Oh, Stoner, I think, is starting to feel the pressure. Are these tyres starting to go? Let's watch him now. Let's watch him, because if these tyres are starting to go, he would have to pit. That would release Bo into first place. I think it still would put Gamble in second place. Sorry, Stoner in second place and Gamble in third. So let's stay with the Haas here and see how he's handling through these corners. Not easy to gauge, obviously, on these slow, tight corners as we're coming up now to Mirabeau, Fairmont, Mirabeau, Poitiers, into the tunnel. So where we're going to see it tell really is now as he comes through the tunnel and into turns 10 and 11, Nouveau Chicane, and then up to Tabac and Louis Chiron. So certainly taking it easy through there. Coming up to Tabac, through Louis Chiron. This is where we saw the Red Bulls lose it. Through to the swimming pool. Ooh, this is okay there. Coming out to La Rascasse. Was it just a slip that he had earlier? Yeah, he's still looking good on those, so unlikely he's going to be pitting. He's got 7 laps to go. Portman's 5-second stop-go penalty. Oh no. Should keep him safe though, should still maintain 9th place. Maybe give him about a 24-second pit stop there with those 23 seconds. There's Gamble in 3rd place, Peter F1 for Williams in 4th, so we'll be looking forward to those points. Mike Evan and Mercedes 5th. John, Stoner's teammate, is in 6th place. Phenomenal for Sauber in 7th. Slim Shamey for Williams in 8th. Portmer for Mercedes, second Mercedes driver there, is in 9th place. Slacky, Renault driver, in 10th. Miguel Toro Rosso 11th, and Elfrans is 12th. So Stoner now coming through swimming pool, coming up to La Rascasse. Coming up on the back now, I think, of Mikev. Or is it Portman? Might be Portman. As they come through now, Masnet, or rather, here we go, Masnet now through to Casino. Dropping downhill towards Mirabeau. Fairmount hairpin now. Through Mirabeau Basse. Through Poitiers, and the Mercedes moving across there, letting him through as he comes through to the tunnel. Coming up to Nouveau Chicane now, turns 10 and 11. Beautifully executed. Coming up now to turn 12 to back. That left-right is Louis Chiron, and then the right-left of Swimming Pool. Up to La Rascasse, that hard right-hander. And then threading it through Anthony Nogues there as they come into the start-finish straight. So he's certainly looking to go there. Bo has closed down that gap quite significantly, actually, 3 seconds. So as he set a faster lap. No, Gamble's actually set the fastest lap at 1:13.379. Bo and Stoner maintaining theirs. So Gamble's starting to really pull out the bag now, although to be fair, I don't think he's going to be able to get anywhere close to these front two. Bo now coming up on the Williams there. I think it's Slim Shamy, must be, yeah. Could be Peter, but I think it's Slim. So he's going past him there, past the Williams. Coming down to Nouveau Chicane. Round there, through to 12. To back. Coming around the back now, Louis Chiron. Through the Swimming Pool. Up to La Rascasse, that's hard right-hander. Threading it through Anthony Knowles there onto the start-finish straight. So 6.5 seconds. He was 9, nearly 10 seconds behind, so he's dropped 3 seconds there. So he's Stoner slowing down, but then again we've got 3 laps to go. Stoner can certainly ease off a little, not too much, because it's still a gap that's easy to close. All you need to do is make one mistake, go into that barrier. And there we have Stoner coming round the hairpin there into Mirabeau Halt, under the tunnel of Portière, or the foot tunnel, and then underneath the tunnel itself, turn 9. Nouveau Chicane now, turns 10 and 11. Obviously you've got the runoff if people do make that error, they can now go straight on. The back 12, Louis Chiron. Take it easy, line up for Swimming Pool. Get on the right hand side, left now, and then right for La Rascasse. Threading Knowles and into the start finish straight to start lap 76, so 2 laps to go. And here we are now, they're coming up to casino turns as they go through Masnat. That long left-hander into that hard right of the casino square. And then dropping down, as I said, to Mirabeau Halt. So that gap now down to 5 seconds. So Bo is certainly pulling out all the stops. It's still possible if a mistake is made. Gamble's still got the fastest time there with that 1:13.3. So this is really quite tight. I mean, okay, we've only got 2 laps to go, but all it takes is Stoner to make one mistake, and Bo will be there to pick up the pieces. He is 5 seconds behind, so we did see Slim Shamy spin the car on La Rascasse a few laps ago. So all you've got to do is just hit that wrong. As he comes through La Rascasse now, our race leader Stoner. Coming into the start-finish straight. Starting his penultimate lap. Coming round now. Masnat. Such a hard turn because you've got to get it right as you line up for Casino Square there. And he's certainly not taking it at full speed or what he might normally do. He's taking it easy. Doesn't want to muck it up now. That would be gutting. We can see that Ferrari just coming round the hairpin there on that camera angle, so he's very close behind. We have seen stranger things happen, so They're very close to one another. So Stoner coming up to back now, through Louis Chiron, up to swimming pool. Line it up for Raskas. See the Ferrari just coming into start finish straight, and he's starting his last lap, lap 78. It's been a long, hard race. We can see that Stoner obviously was started in 4th place, moved up 3 places. Bo was started in 3rd, moved up to 2nd. Gamble was in 2nd, moved down to 3rd. Mikeb in the Mercedes now is in 4th place. He moved up 4 positions. Peter F1 in the Williams 6 positions. Slim 3, Phenomenon 8 positions. So fantastic result from him. John, Portman, Slacky, Miguel, and Elfren. So let's now go with our race leader, Stoner. As he comes round his last to back turn for season 3 of 2017 F1 tonight. Through the swimming pool turns. Coming up to La Rascasse now. Oh, don't do it now. What is that, Williams there? Okay, so Williams now, and he comes across the line, and our race winner for this evening is Stoner, driving for Haas. 2nd place, Bo for Ferrari. 3rd place, Gamble for McLaren. So those are our top 3 drivers. At the moment, provisionally, we have Mikeb in the Mercedes. We're coming in 4th. So we do have time penalties to apply. And he comes across the line there. So we still have Peter F1 in the Williams, Slim in the Williams, Miguel in the Toro Rosso out on track. So those are the 3 drivers out on track at this moment in time. As I say, we will wait for the final confirmation of times and places. So it's been a hard race as we expected. We haven't seen as many incidents as we would have expected, which is good news. Any incidents did occur, quickly cleared up, so racing was pretty much constant. No safety cars, so fantastic job there. Really, really good close racing. It has been hard fought. Oh dear, don't want to be doing that there. That won't do your Toro Rosso much good. So we're coming up now to the final timings and positions screen. And we have a presentation there, so nice to see. Haas were 2nd last week. They got 1st here at Monaco, so fantastic job there from Stoner. Really great job. Ferrari obviously 2nd place, and great job there from McLaren in 3rd place. So good to see all these guys up here. So Gamble takes 3rd place. For Ferrari takes 2nd place, and the winner was Stoner for Haas in 1st place. 4th place was Mikeb in the Mercedes. 5th and 6th respectively were Williams with Peter F1 and Slim Shamey. Fantastic drive from Sauber, Phenomenon. 7th place there, very well done. 8th place for John. 9th was Portmer. 10th was Slacky for Renault. 11th Toro Rosso. 12th Force India. So great result there, fantastic race. I hope you've enjoyed it. We certainly have. I certainly have. And we look forward to seeing you next week. We will be posting. Please do bear in mind that if you're going to be looking to rewatch this, you can do so on YouTube. Although do bear in mind that it is likely to be blocked for probably 24 to 48 hours before we can edit the the stream and repost it. So if you want to watch this race again, please do go on to the F1 Tonight YouTube channel. As I said to you, this is an F1 Tonight esports series, 2017 season 3, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you very much, and hope you get as we have. A lot.